All in Sports Network. We love sports.
It is Saturday, February 8th, right here on your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns, right here on All In Horns, brought to you by Rogue Sports Network. I'm Tanner Carlson. That is Jake Jimerson. And we have a shortened episode for you today, but a fun episode for you today. We're going to go through Saturday's slate of games, including Texas Vandy, and then kind of highlight some of the best games going on today throughout the day. Texas and Vandy actually tipping off, if you're watching this as we're releasing this, about now. So flip back and forth or watch us a little bit afterwards so you can get the preview of what we thought was going to happen in the game you're about to watch. So, but we'll go through that, and then we'll end the show with it's Super Bowl Eve, Jake. We're a day before the Super Bowl, and so we will give our Super Bowl prop bets and what we think is going to happen. One prop bet you can probably go all in on is over under on the amount of times Jake is going to watch this game at 0.5.
Yeah, I'd bet the under. I'll probably tune in for the halftime show.
Yeah, hey, I want
to be clear, this is not a normal thing for me. I have missed one other Super Bowl, and it was when the Eagles played the Patriots.
Yeah, I did. I also elected not to watch that, and I think one Super Bowl was enough in my life.
I watched the Chiefs-Eagles the first time just because Chiefs were still kind of new to winning. I could at least get by Mahomes. I was like, I really want to see the Eagles lose.
But now we can't.
And now it's like I want the Chiefs to win technically, but really I'm Team Asteroid.
Xavier Worthy.
Go Team Asteroid. Yeah, Xavier Worthy would be the only thing, but like watching it is going to bring me no happiness. I would rather do something else. At the most, I may have it on while I do something completely different. That
give him the view. Give him that rating.
Have the be playing video games at my computer with it on and the TV in the back. Like that. That's the most that will happen to make sure I catch the halftime show. I'm dreading it. There's no happy ending for me. I either have to listen to fireworks all night and not get any sleep and then go in and everyone be hungover and happy at work. Or I have to have the freaking Eagles win another Super Bowl, which you might as well just burn the world down.
Oh, Jake. It's a bad spot. It's a bad spot we're in, Jake. And it was either them or the Commanders. It was
at least the Commanders. It's like they haven't done anything for 30. Like,
yeah.
And their fans are way less obnoxious.
Correct.
There's a lot less of them. Like it wouldn't have bothered me near as bad. I kind of like Jaden Daniels. I at least can respect Jaden Daniels and like him. Like, I don't respect Jalen Hurts. He's really good at handing the ball off and getting his ass touched. Like that's about it. Like it's a lose-lose situation.
It's a tough day, Jake.
But
it's
yet
a tough
I
day
need
for you
the Chiefs to win. Yet I need the Chiefs to win. And if I watch this and the Eagles win, which is what I think is very possible, it's just an awful night for me. And if I watch it and the Chiefs win, it's just like okay, thank God the Eagles didn't win. And now I got to listen to fireworks all night and not sleep. So it doesn't matter for me. I lose. That is the NFL football for me my entire life.
Yeah.
I lose.
Yeah. Well, we knew what the ending to our season was going to be. I think this is kind of the final, like, this is the what's worse than what's a worst case? Name a worst case scenario other than a 3-peat Chiefs team or the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles being the one going for the 3-peat. That's it.
Yeah, but then Jake, because then I would be able to be like, okay, come on, Chiefs. We can't let that happen.
Yeah, but then the Eagles would have won 2 Super Bowls in a row. My life would be even more miserable currently.
Yeah, that's true. It's good math. Good math.
Yeah.
All right. I can't argue.
At the end of the day, the Eagles winning championships is the worst thing. Like, even when the Giants played the Patriots, I was kind of like, I don't mind that the Giants win. Like, it's Eli Manning. Like, I don't really want him to win, but it's better than the Patriot. I can't do that with the Eagles because I truly hate the Eagles. I don't respect their fans. I don't respect their team. I don't respect their city. I don't respect their quarterback. I
All the
don't
history,
respect.
the history of the United States, Jake. That's where the USA was born, is Philadelphia.
Maybe that's the root of a lot of our problems. Makes you think.
It makes you, hey, maybe if that Declaration of Independence was signed, I don't know, in Dallas, Texas, who knows where?
Maybe it's a better world right now.
maybe it'd be a better world that we're living in right now. Oh God. Okay.
I would support Pennsylvania getting annexed by Mexico.
That would have been a better trade-off. All right, Jake. I don't want to get into a history lesson because then I'll say something where everyone's going to be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You'd be correct. Let's go ahead and jump into Saturday slate of games, starting with this Texas Vandy game, Jake, that's going on right now. Let's go ahead, kind of briefly break it down, maybe a little bit more time than we do spend on the other games, but final prediction by the end of it.
Yeah, it's become a must win for Texas.
Are we past that? I thought Arkansas was a must win.
No, because I mean, right, they're still in the tournament team, but I think if they lose at a Vandy and then you drop to Alabama and Kentucky, they're at a point where they're going to have to essentially win out against all those lower teams.
I mean, they're staring a 4-game losing streak possibly coming up for them.
Yeah, and that's why this game has become, a must win. I mean, if you end up beating in Alabama or Kentucky after losing this, what do you call a must win? But
Sure.
It's as must win as you can be at this point in the season because it's a team that you can beat. It would be another really high quality road win that would be really strong on the resume. And it's a must win in the standpoint of right now, this team's goal should be to cement themselves as a for sure tournament team. And every time they're like about to do that, they lose a game. It's kind of been, losing at Ole Miss, no shame in that. The Arkansas game, much worse, worst performance of the conference.
Yeah, that kind of hurt. I mean, that one stings a little bit more than any really of the other ones. I
and
mean,
what's the health going to be? I mean, now the health
Auburn, you're losing to Tennessee, you're losing to these teams, but then you drop in Arkansas where you're like, okay, we should be kind of after the performance you put on against LSU, going into Arkansas, you're thinking, all right, we're feeling the best we felt all season, and then you lay that type of game. Might be worst game of the season.
Yeah, and not only the LSU game, but just like they were on like a 5-6 game streak of playing good basketball.
Right.
And then
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And so winning at Vandy now is just much more important. You drop the game you shouldn't. Now you got to pick up a game that maybe you kind of had earmarked as a likely loss because Vandy's they're a very good home team. They've been a pretty good team, but they've also shown a lot of cracks now in recent games. And it's just one of those games where when you're in a conference that is playing like the SEC is right now, you got to win tough games. And this is a tough game, but it's one that Texas needs to go out and win. And they need to get healthy. I mean, at this point, the health of the team is in question as well, which hurts even more.
Right.
You have big men getting hurt, and that's something they couldn't afford at all. How's Shedrick going to be? How's Pryor going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Is Weaver ever coming back? You just don't get the injury reports in basketball as good as you do in football.
It's not. It doesn't seem like it's on a weekly.
There's not as much sourced information as well on it, and so it's like, when is Weaver coming back? Because that is a big. He is kind of the Brock Cunningham, but better of this team.
A more athletic. Yeah,
he's a better basketball player, but he brings that attitude. He brings that spark you need
fire.
Sometimes.
He's got a like. Sometimes whenever you're going on
the court,
when you're going on a 4-minute scoring drought and you've been stuck at 24 points for what seemed like 10 minutes against Arkansas, you need a Kendall Weaver to come back and at least have some sort of ignition, a spark of life, because you're always going to get a play out of him where he's diving on the floor or he's making a big steal or I don't know, just causing chaos and we don't have that right now. We have none of that energy being provided to the team at all.
Yeah, and so you have Texas right now as a 9 seed in bracketology. You have Vandy at a 10. So,
Well,
I
and
mean,
Vandy's coming off a best stretch, but a tough 2 losses. For anybody who's not kept up with Vanderbilt basketball, just a quick shout out to what they've done recently. Beat number 6 Tennessee, lost to number 4 Alabama, turned around and beat number 9 Kentucky, and then lost to Oklahoma, lost to Florida. And so that Oklahoma loss, they could have probably built some momentum, but I think losing 2 straight, they're trying to get back on top to where they were feeling against, the Tennessee and the Kentucky level of where their play was at just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and for Texas, it's getting a win and having a little momentum going into really your last really tough stretch. These next 2 games coming up next week is their toughest stretch left in the season. And then after that, that's where you get a chance to really go on a run. So if you can beat Vandy, win one of those 2 somehow, especially Kentucky really looks much more beatable.
Yeah.
And you have them both at home. So just find a way to win one of them, win at Vandy, and then beat the teams you're supposed to go out the season. And they'll be a top probably 8 seed, if not top 7, 7 or below.
Arkansas might feel more painful than it actually might be to the season. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because it hurts more, but if you break it down like that, like what Jake just said, but that does include, you have to win Kentucky or Bama in that scenario. You can't drop both of those games, in my opinion, and feel confident
good. Yeah,
right.
And feel good going into the tournament. They could still make the tournament if they drop.
But
I mean, just because of the way the SEC is working out, you really only need 7 conference wins probably to get in. That would be 3 more wins for Texas.
Yeah. I took a brief look at some of the other conferences in terms of those smaller, conference, the Wichita States of the world, the Gonzagas of the world. You don't really have one of those teams that is like going to be a top, 3 seed in the country.
Yeah. And
which is odd.
That is part of the reason it's going to skew to the SEC is going to get in 11 to 13 teams.
Yeah. Like there's not a dominant, even UConn's not just like this juggernaut of a team this year,
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to favor a team to win the championship, it'd probably be maybe Duke right now.
Yeah.
But
Auburn. I like Auburn.
Auburn. I mean, you know how the NCAA tournament is. Yeah. It's hard to favor anyone. And there isn't a UConn this year. And so I really think that magic number, if you will, is Texas to be in the tournament, not feel good going into the tournament, but to be in the tournament is probably 7 conference wins, 8 guaranteed, but I think 7 gets you in. Yeah. That's 3 more wins. So the Arkansas game feels bad. You can still beat Arkansas this season, by the way. Yeah. You get them on the road. That would be a good win, especially if Arkansas is just all of a sudden going on a roll, which they might be.
We've seen it from this program under Pittman. I mean,
under.
That's football coach.
Sorry, going to football. That is the wrong sport. John Calipari is the coach.
Calipari. Calipari can make a run with this team. But yeah, sorry.
They just took down Kentucky on the road, and now it looks like they're playing their best basketball right now. And so, like you said, this loss could end up really being insignificant at the end of the day to what
I don't know
what is possible in front. If they beat Kentucky, lose Alabama,
it's making the road harder. It's making the road a little bit tougher losing.
It just depends what road you're talking about. Because to me, making the tournament,
that's what
they more than likely are going to.
I think I'm talking about making the tournament.
I just don't. I think you win 3 more conference games, you're in, and they should win 3 more conference games.
Yeah,
it would be bad.
I'd hope so.
Only winning 3 more would be bad. They should win at minimum 4 more.
They should, Jake. They should. This team is unpredictable with how bad they can be. Their lows are low, Jake.
Yeah,
and it feels like it can happen any given night for this team.
That goes both ways, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Alabama randomly. They just have a game where their scores all get hot and they play like they did against LSU.
Yeah.
It's a closer game than LSU, obviously, but they find a way to win.
Sure. No, you're not wrong. It's a
very frustrating season.
It's a frustrating season.
And it makes it to where I'm probably not going to feel confident going into the tournament no matter what. All I'm saying is they're probably going to make the tournament.
Okay.
Like if I was putting a percentage at it, I'd say it's like a 70% chance,
Really?
75% chance they're going to be in the tournament.
That number seems high to me. And I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've watched too much of them to know.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're looking at 8 more games that you got to just win 3 or 4 out of.
Yeah.
And
they're bad teams,
and it's the weakest stretch of the whole season.
Yeah, you got South Carolina out there, like you've got a path,
and you have a lot of them at home.
Yeah.
Your toughest trip left after Vanderbilt is at Mississippi State, who's very beatable. You have at Arkansas and at South Carolina. You should beat South Carolina.
Yeah.
Again, should it's not that I'm saying I'm like just they're a tournament team for sure. It's just when I look at what they need to get in, what is left, even though they've been very frustrating and bad at times, even playing at the level they have to this point in the season, they would still get in. It would take them playing bad the rest of the season to not get in, which is possible.
It's possible. It's possible, but it is more unlikely because we've seen this team be able to rebound and play good basketball enough amount of times that it would elevate them to, like you said, 3, maybe 4 more wins on the season.
And to be clear, just making the tournament is not the goal of this team. It's not the goal when you have a player like Trey Johnson.
But making the tournament is definitely
not making the tournament
the
is
wrong direction.
You are firing everyone. Making the tournament and losing in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a coaching change.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the buyout looks for Rodney Terry. I haven't dove into all that, but missing the tournament, it doesn't matter what the buyout is.
Surely it can't be extremely high. So, all right, Jake, let's go ahead. Predictions real quick. Throw them out there for the Texas Vanderbilt.
I think Texas will play a lot better, and this will be one of their better road wins on the season. And they win a close one, 72-69.
And I haven't turned it on yet. I'm focused on the podcast, so I don't know currently what they're doing if you're watching this. But I will say, goodness. God, I'm going to say Texas 68, Vanderbilt 67. I think Texas wins at the buzzer.
It's funny how negative you are about them, but you keep picking them to win.
I can't.
And I'm not even that positive about them. I just have to lean to the more positive side because
if they don't win this game, then I may not pick them the rest of the season. It's kind of my last straw game.
You will pick South Carolina to beat them.
Maybe, depending, but maybe.
Okay,
If you turn around and beat Alabama and Kentucky after I picked you to lose to those teams, then fine. I'll pick you to lose the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be picking them to beat Alabama or Kentucky. I can say that now.
I won't.
I can see them winning.
If they beat them both, I will pick them to lose for the rest of the year. I'm not going to pick them again.
That'd be a fitting. That would make sense for this team. Beat both of them and then lose out. Yeah, they'll beat both of them, beat Mississippi State, and lose to all the unranked teams.
Yeah.
And then make the tournament because that would be enough wins.
It would be a very impressive end of the season. Yeah.
Win a 48-44 game in the first round and then have a tough, gritty loss in the second round. Could you
imagine, whenever you do the matchups in the tournament and they got best wins and worst losses and they compare them to the teams or whatever, the Texas best wins to worst losses is going to be the most WTF team ever.
And that's kind of what they've been. It's not been a fun basketball year, and it should be when you have a Trey Johnson.
Yeah. Okay, Jake, let's move it. Texas A&M, Mizzou, what are your thoughts and prediction quickly?
Missouri's a much better home team than they are road team. A&M is every time that you start to think they're like a top 10 team, it seems like they're probably a little overranked. So I think Missouri wins by 8.
I think Texas A&M. I think the Texas game was a wake up call for Texas A&M, and I think they've kind of been a little teed off, really ever since. And so I'm gonna stick with A&M to win this game in a close one, though. Say 78-81, Texas A&M.
They did just barely beat South Carolina at South Carolina A&M. So I
South
I don't
Carolina's
know.
been in there with a couple teams.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not like the Texas game was a turning point for them. They've still shown that they're not a fun basketball team to watch.
No, they're gritty. They're a rebound, poor low shooting percentage, keep getting rebounds, Angel Reese style basketball team. Very much so. They're not fun to watch.
They're a team who's either going to boom or bust in the tournament. And considering the logo that is on their jersey, I will probably predict them to bust.
All right, next game, Jake. What is it? Number 6, Florida at number 1, Auburn. I can tell you right now, I really like this Auburn team, Jake. I've watched more and more of them over the last week or so. And yeah, I like their big guy. Is it Broom?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a solid player right there. He averages a double-double. He's a beast. And so and Auburn's probably one of the better atmospheres this season in college basketball. I think they have one of the better home environments too. So I'm going to give that one a big boost to play in the jungle. And so, yeah, I'm taking Auburn to win that one. I don't know. I actually think it'll be kind of similar to that Tennessee game Florida just played. I'll say Auburn 88, Florida 72.
Yeah, I think it'll be something similar. I think Auburn's really, really good. They've had a great home environment actually for a few years now. They've sold out every game for I think 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
And then now with them being really good, the fan base is just bought in. They look like a team who's just very difficult to beat at home, and they can win in multiple ways. That's where I've been impressed by them. They win defensive games. They win games where they're just scoring 90 plus. They can kind of do it all. I think Florida's a really good team too, but like I said, right now your 2 favorites to win the national title would be, I think, in a tier of their own would be Auburn and Duke. And then you have to go down a tier for your next title favorites. So I think Auburn wins this one handedly.
They better be on opposite brackets come bracket time, because I think those are the 2 favorites. So Jake, let's go ahead. We kind of agreed on that one. So number 2 Duke at unranked Clemson is a 1-2 game within the ACC. It's the only reason why I put it on there.
Duke by 20. Cooper Flagg might go for 35. I
will say a little bit closer, because at Clemson has been a little bit better of an environment of recent years, with Clemson being a tournament team last year. They're, they are a tournament team this year. And so, but I'll say, yeah, something along the lines of Duke 85, Clemson 70 range, probably. So, and then lastly, Jake, Big 12 game, good one. Top 3 Big 12 game. Number 13, Texas Tech taking on at Arizona. I think Arizona has 1 conference loss, and that was to Texas Tech earlier this season.
Tech's playing their bet. Actually, real quick, I'm just going to reverse. Clemson lost to South Carolina, by the way, in basketball. So just to give you an idea of the ACC compared to the SEC.
Yeah, no, that's a great stat, Jake. Appreciate it.
Yeah, they also lost to Kentucky.
They're not good.
Wild how different they are. I wish Texas was in the ACC in basketball. I'd at least be actually thinking they were a good team, and then
you'd be very upset
crashed in the tournament.
Yeah,
they lose to Abilene Christian.
They'd finish as a 2 seed this year, Jake, and they would lose.
It'd be like some of those Shaka Smart teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech wins this. They're playing really good basketball right now. Unfortunately, and there'll be a team who makes it to the round of 32 or the Sweet 16 and then loses but they're playing good basketball right now. And when Tech gets on a roll in basketball, they sometimes just go on a big run in the regular season. I think they're on that right now.
I think at Arizona is the difference. I really do. I think they're going to split the home and home. The last game was in Lubbock, so I'm going to take Arizona in this one, Jake, in a close one. Say 79-77. Arizona wins that one. So,
yeah, I think it'll be close. I will say that. It'll definitely be a very close game.
all right, Jake, let's it is Super Bowl Eve, and we would be remiss if we didn't pull off some Super Bowl prop bets 24 hours ahead of time. And let's go ahead and Jake, national anthem, coin toss, first score, all of them. You want to just run down the list, and can you document it for us
Yeah, I'm
so we can keep
shaking with excitement.
Jake, come on, man. At least fake it for the people.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't have it in me. It's impossible.
All right. Well, let's give some predictions of Jake. Let's do what we want to happen in this game. Prop bets of what we want to happen.
All these prop bets would be null and void if what I wants to happen because I'm Team Asteroid. So I want them all to push.
What's worst case? Okay, worst case scenario for these two teams to be in a Super Bowl and one of them win it. But what's worst case scenario?
Like to happen in the game?
Yes.
We're already there, but I guess the Eagles to just win like 55-0 and have the most historic score. And then they have 2 Super Bowls that are against the 2 modern day dynasties and be games where they just played out of their minds.
Oh, Jake.
Like what are you asking me?
I'm asking you what if worst case for these two teams moving forward for the future, what would be the worst thing that could happen to these two teams in terms of how this game could go for you to enjoy it, for you to try to enjoy this game?
I don't know if I can say this some of the stuff on air. For Howie Roseman to magically not be the GM in a non-violent act or non-bad act, just like the Eagles owner doesn't like him all of a sudden and hires Jerry Jones' kid to be the GM, and then he trades away all their players to the Lakers for nothing.
He could hire Nico.
He hires Nico Harrison as GM.
Yeah,
and they get rid of everyone.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes just decides to retire because he has all the money in the world.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, see those types of things. Kelsey, Mahomes,
Travis Kelce proposes and Taylor Swift says no and breaks up with him and does a performance post game. That'd be really funny.
These are the takes that I'm here for, Jake. This is what I want to hear.
I won't know because I won't see.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get you to do is you can watch this game so you can bet on those things happening that you would end up enjoying.
I can't bet those things is the issue, but I will do these prop bets. I might not make them on my sportsbook app, but I will make these on the podcast and I will track them
for the fun of the podcast. We don't have to actually make them because I don't want to bet this game.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. Can you not tell? So much fun.
So a great time. What's the over under on the national anthem, Jay? I don't even know John Baptiste. Am I wrong for not knowing who that is? Am I a bad person for not being? A
little bit. I mean,
I don't know who John Baptiste is.
I can't think of songs of him off the top of my head, but I know like he's pretty big. Like,
yeah.
I
knew Chris Stapleton, like nailed it, knew it.
Well, yeah, you're white. But what do I know? I do know him from something because he's either done an anthem before or he's been on a show. I think he does a lot of things. Because it says American musician, composer, and TV personality. I got to know him from like a show or something because I know the name, but I don't know any of his songs off the top of my head. He's not
the guy who played Carlson on Fresh Prince, is he?
Oh boy, stop! Just stop. So I'm gonna go over because everyone loves to the composers and things like that. They love to let their beautiful voices ring during these anthems, and so
Okay.
I think he'll probably put on a good anthem performance
You think
and go
so?
over on time.
Over. And what was it set at 2 minutes? Ooh, I liked all the things you said. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna just take the under.
Okay.
All right.
And I am writing these down as we are typing them in as we go.
Yes. All right. Who wins the coin toss, Jake?
The Chiefs, the Black Magic.
The refs have a double-sided coin. It's two-face.
Yeah, one
as
side
the
is
ref.
the Chiefs, one side is Kansas City.
If we're gonna make Bane references, we might as well make a two-face reference, and he can have the referees have a heads, and they're just two sides of a chief and a chief. That's who wins the coin toss.
Is that who you're taking as well?
Yes, and I'm actually gonna put money on that. It is a double-sided coin with a Chiefs head on it as the quarter.
Okay.
And then Roger Goodell say there's no bias towards the Chiefs.
Yeah, there's no bias, I promise.
I feel like if you have to say there's no bias, that might mean that there's been a little bit
Josh
of a bias.
Allen totally didn't get that first down.
Oh no, it wasn't even close, Jake. All right, first score.
Like player or team?
That would be for both. So yes.
Well, you could name the team without naming the player. But Saquon Barkley will make a 40-yard run to get to the 1-yard line, and then Jalen Hurts will have someone put his hand on him and push him into the end zone.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. Oh man. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say a Saquon touchdown run from 15 yards out. Opening drive of the game. Eagles.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts will have 4 touchdowns to get Super Bowl MVP, throwing for 110 yards and rushing for 10 yards, but having 5 touchdowns that are all 1-yard rushes. Saquon Barkley will run for 220 and he won't win Super Bowl MVP
because he won't get a single touchdown.
Yeah, I'm in a great spot right now mentally. Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun.
This is a great time. Great time. All right. So. What? Oh, first quarter. Oh God, first quarter score.
14-3 Philly.
6-0 Philly.
Jake Elliott. Philly, since you had a first. Well, shouldn't your first score have been Jake Elliott then, or is that first touchdown?
It's a first score. I say Saquon is going to open with a 15-yard touchdown run, misses the extra point. Jake Elliott.
Yeah, that's not that crazy of a prediction, honestly.
Exactly. So 6-0. So Eagles, even when they score the opening drive, they're still a little bit upset.
Yeah, they'll miss the extra point, and then the Chiefs will jump off sides on the second time when the Eagles are lining up to go for 2, and then they'll push a 2-point conversion.
So 8-0.
No, 14-0. They score a touchdown, miss the extra point. Then they're going for 2. Chiefs jump off sides. Ball goes to the 1. Tush push in.
I got it now.
Everything ends with a tush push because that is just my dream.
I love where you're going with this game, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay. Halftime score.
21-10 Philly.
10-6 Chiefs.
Man, yours is probably more right. It'll be ugly and low scoring, but
it's just not going to be a fun game to watch at all.
Well, no matter what, there is literally no scenario where I have fun watching this game. It could end in a Hail Mary, and
the play on the field is going to be so gross to watch. It's just going to be ugly. I feel like it's going to be a poorly played game.
Probably. Both these teams have shown the ability to play really ugly football at times.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this game. Okay. Oh, Kendrick Lamar stuff. Cool. Yeah, let's do this. Kendrick Lamar over under 8 tracks played.
I hope it's under because I'm going to sound old.
No, do it.
I like the I'm fine with the artists they've done for the most part. And for halftime shows in recent memory, I just don't like how the halftime show is, where it's just, I'm going to do 30-second snippets of 50 songs.
Yeah.
And bring on a bunch of special guests. And
it's you know what it's like, dude? It's like that person with like ADD that can only listen to like 30 seconds of a song and then they change the song on you right when you're kind of getting into it. You're like, all right, yeah, I'm feeling this song. And then they hit it skip and you're like, dude, I was listening to that. That's kind of what the Super Bowl halftime show has become. And I want them to just go under, play like 6 really good songs, your best 6 songs, and just your songs. You don't even need guest appearances and stuff like that, unless one of those songs has a guest.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take the over because I don't even think the artists are deciding this. I think the NFL encourages this, like those types of performances, to get in as many hits as you can, and that's how they kind of choreographer it. And then I'm gonna go under on one track until I get a text from my mom going, "This halftime show sucks." Why isn't Dolly Parton doing the halftime show?
Oh yeah. Why isn't Toby Keith doing halftime?
Oh, he's dead. So that would be why, Tanner.
Well,
bad example.
It is your it is your mom asking the question, so I wouldn't put it past her.
True.
All right, Jake,
you haven't given your over under on that.
I said under. I said about six tracks. 6.
Oh, good. I thought that's what you were hoping. Not
well,
you don't bet what you hope.
This is all what I'm hoping happens. That is just an ugly, horrible, disgusting game that everybody forgets that the Super Bowl was ever played. It goes down in history as the worst Super Bowl played ever.
Well, they'll remember it because an asteroid hits.
Well, yeah, or Bane walks out on the field. Opener, closer prediction. I'll say Not Like Us to open.
And close?
Dang. I didn't even think about it. I just know it's going to be Not Like Us. I know it's just going to be Not Like Us. Now I'm drawing a blank. I guess, I don't know. Well, bitch, don't kill my vibe. Don't kill my vibe. I'll just go with that.
All right. I'm going to go that he opens.
I think he goes with the classic, though.
I think he opens with Swimming Pools and he closes with Not Like Us.
Yeah.
Third quarter score?
Third quarter score.
You look frozen. You look like Luka in his Lakers press conference.
Am I frozen?
No, you looked frozen.
Oh.
You weren't frozen. It looked like your brain froze for a second.
No. I'll go 13-13 tied game.
I don't want to watch this game that you're creating, but I don't want to watch any game. So I'm going to go 21-17 Philly, because as a reminder, I had 21-10 at half Philly.
Nice. And then total turnovers in this game before we get to our final, I'm going to say over 2.5.
That makes sense for how you have it going.
Comfortably.
I'm going to go that 2.5 is like the perfect kind of, I think it's going to go under. I think there's going to be 2 turnovers. I think each team will turn it over once. Jalen Hurts will have a fumble and
another fumble. A fumble,
Jalen Hurts is good for a turnover
and score
if he's asked to do more. It may be a scoop and score. It will be close to a scoop and score. Yeah, exactly. And then Mahomes will have a random interception or something.
Yeah. Dude, what was that? Isn't there there's a crazy turnover stat since he threw that pick against the Bills or against the Bengals in the year they lost to the Bengals in the AFC? What was that? His second or third AFC championship appearance. He threw an interception in that game. He hasn't thrown an interception in the playoffs since.
There's a lot of stupid Mahomes has had. Yeah, I mean, you could tell me that he is Jesus, and it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
It's some of his stats are starting to get like Gretzky-esque already.
Yeah, it's like he is like 18-1 when trailing in the fourth quarter, and it's like, what?
And then but then it's like Tom Brady's second, and he is like 6-7. It's like it's like stupidly different. It's not even close.
Yeah, he doesn't even care about the regular season anymore. He just kind of dicks around in the regular season, and then in the playoffs just goes off.
God, I can't, dude. But it's I did say with Mahomes whenever he was kind of when they were competing with the Patriots with Brady being there, and then Brady goes and beats him in Tampa Bay. I remember saying this guy is going to be the closest thing to Tom Brady that we may ever see, and it's going to come in like right after Brady.
And he might end up being better. He's on pace to be way better,
quicker at a quicker rate.
Yeah,
which is just bizarre to me to even think about. So, final score, Jake. Let me go ahead and I'll go. What did I have? 13-13. I'll have 20-19. Jake Elliott misses an extra point again to lose the game after they tied it up. They got a game tying touchdown and they missed the extra point, lose the game, and that's how the Chiefs win the Super Bowl in 3-peat.
Philly wins because that will make my life more miserable. 30-27.
30-27 Philly.
Yeah, because that makes my life not good.
All right, so that would mean so the Chiefs for if you're wanting to bet the spread, a 1.5 favorite, Jake. You would be taking the money line for Philly.
Yeah, I will not bet that because I have self-respect.
But I will not either. But I'm going to say Philly does cover.
Oh yeah, you do have Philly covering. That's a gross bet to make.
Philly covering on a missed extra point.
And so over under 48.5, you would have the under.
Taking the under.
And I would have the over. This works out. We're like opposite on a lot of this.
Yeah, so we can just kind of, at least have that conversation. Number of times Taylor Swift is shown at any time during the broadcast. That could be a picture. That could be a commercial. That could be in the stands. That would be post-game celebration on the field with Kelsey. The amount of times that she will be shown on TV at any given point.
At 4.5?
At 4.5.
Over in the first half. And I'm not even one of those people who complain, but like in the Super Bowl, and
do we want to make that number different?
Not only that, I'm going to make a bet that Travis Kelce proposes after they win, even though I picked Philly to win.
Because it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing crap against the wall, and maybe some of it will stick because this game is crap, and these teams are crap, and life is crap.
It's crap. Okay, Jake. Yeah.
Are you taking over?
Yeah, I'll take the over. Gatorade color purple. It's been purple back-to-back years. 3-peat, 3 years straight of purple.
So if the Chiefs win, it'll definitely be purple because they're probably thinking about that because they're just like, well, we're going to 3-peat, and they're probably going to 3-peat. Philly.
Andy Reid thought about that.
God, just the thought of Sirianni getting a Gatorade bath, winning a Super Bowl makes me physically ill. So it's going to be green because that's the color of the vomit that is going to projectile out of my mouth whenever I get the notification on my phone that the Eagles have won the Super Bowl.
Dude, if I see Sirianni lift a Lombardi.
This is the least fun episode we've ever done. I'm having a terrible time.
All right, Jake. That's it, right? Is that all?
No, Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Mahomes. Who else are they going to give it to? In my prediction.
Ooh. I predicted this at the start. Jalen Hurts will throw for 110 yards. He will rush for 10 yards. He will have 5 rushing touchdowns, and he will be the MVP over Saquon Barkley, who rushes for 220.
Yep. All right, Jake. Well, that is going to do it for our prop bets. And yeah, I hope everybody is not betting with us, because we are not betting this game. That was just all for good and fun, because I refuse to put a dime towards this game. So as for Jake Jimerson, I'm Tanner Carlson. You've been listening to your daily fix of all things Texas Longhorns right here on All In Horns, brought to you by Rogue Sports Network. And as always, welcome.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.